Thanks for checking out this edition of This Week in the World of Football, coming to you live from the fabulous World of Football Man Cave, located in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. The purpose of this podcast is to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. We hope to educate, inform, and entertain you with the glorious buffet that is the world of football, while also keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. You can find the show after it's aired live on a multitude of podcasting platforms, as well as right here on YouTube along with past shows. If you want to connect with us, just find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Threads. Those links will be down in the episode description. Remember to comment, like, and share this video. If you have thoughts or comments during the show, drop them into the live chat and maybe you'll see your name on screen. If you have questions and they are deemed appropriate, they'll be answered at the end of the broadcast. So without further ado, let's kick off this week's show.
Hello again, everyone. This is episode number 417 for October 28th, 2025, and I am your host, Randy Snow. On this week's show, LSU has fired head coach Brian Kelly. We also have a head coach firing in the Canadian Football League, and the New York Jets finally win their first game of the season. But I'm not here all by myself. Across the internet from me and in another part of town is my son Adam.
Well. Looks like we both got some merch in the mail, Randy. I got the hat a while ago. Our friend Trey, obviously, we got some swag of his. Did you get the goodie bag too? Did yours come in this nice goodie bag?
No.
Oh, you didn't get the cool bag. Well, let me tell you, I got the nice bag. Yours looks like. Oh, I hope you didn't buy a knockoff because I got the premium stuff, Randy. It came with all the goodies. Let me just show you real quick.
Oh.
Let's see. He sent, first off, this really cool, he gave me a nice note. I guess I'll read that in a second. But he sent me a Clint Dolezal with the Gladiators card.
Oh, cool.
So I'll have to put that up there by my Clint Dolezal thing back there. See, $100. I don't know why that's in there. Adam, thank you so much for the shirt. And looking forward to purchasing the World of Football. Please keep wearing the merch. It helps me out a lot. Well, I guess we know where that bribe came from. All right, just gonna tuck that away. Pretend y'all didn't see that. Trey's a good guy. He doesn't pay for us to talk about his sweet merch. And you can find him at Off the Wall FB on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the TikToks. I've been Adam Snow, not paid to do this advertisement. Oh, hey, look, an Off the Wall sticker too.
Ooh.
Wow, this thing just keeps giving. Anyway, sorry, we have a show to do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, what's new with you, Randy, other than your nice fancy shirt?
Oh, well, I just got back from Florida and had a good time down there. We spent about 4 days at Disney World and another day at the Kennedy Space Center. We took your Uncle Bob and his wife, young me, and we went to the Space Center, and we all. The three of us, your mom didn't want to go on the shuttle simulator ride. And so when the other three of us went on the ride, we walked up to a certain part and then they took our pictures against a green screen. And when we got done with the ride, there were these pictures of us. And that was pretty sweet. I always wanted to be a shuttle astronaut. That was a big part of me joining the Air Force, actually, because the shuttle was just launching at that time. And I was just so into the space program, and that picture came out really nice. You can't tell it was done on a green screen. So
I can tell it was done on a green screen real hard.
Not without my glasses on. It looks great.
And I can tell that this was taken, not in orbit. I can see the outline around your hair, but still fun nonetheless. So did you hold on, I have not asked you this because we barely talked since, you've come back from your trip.
Yeah.
In the chat. Hi, everybody in the live chat. That's right. We got folks in the live chat. Hello, everybody. We see you there. Dale asks or says, Randy, cool picture. He loves it. So you got that going for you, Randy.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Even Bob and Youngme had great pictures that they took. It was awesome. Really cool.
Well, good. Did you guys do the Star Wars ride I kept telling you about? Did you do Rise of the Resistance?
No, we did not.
Oh my gosh, Randy, you're missing out. You screwed up.
My brother and his wife are 11 years older than I am, so we didn't want to go on anything that was too wild. We went on the It's a Small World ride. They really liked that, and some
Of
other.
course you do.
We did the Pirates of the Caribbean. We did the Haunted House and a lot of the standard stuff. We never got to Test Track. The line was way too long that day, so that didn't work out. I was even going to do Mission Space, which you and I had done.
Oh, that's
many
like my
years ago.
favorite. That's up there.
And yeah, I haven't done it since, but I was going to take Bob on that because I thought he might like it, but we never got around to it. But we had a good time. Didn't get sunburned, but boy, it was in the mid to upper 80s almost every day. So it was a warm one. It was a warm one. We had a good time. Glad to be back.
Good.
A little under the weather. It seemed like every time I go down there, I come back sick with something. Just being around that many people. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, you sound better. We talked on the phone briefly last night. You sound a heck of a lot better now than you did even last night. So
yeah. A lot of good medications I'm on.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to continue?
Hey, yeah, go for it. What's the script say?
We got so many things to talk about today. Not only do we have this weekly podcast, but we also make YouTube videos. We currently have over 690 videos on our video channel. Probably have 700 by the time we talk next week. But our newest ones are our NFL picks video from last week, week 8. You did a review of some Arena Football League pins from Pin Force. That was pretty good. I didn't know you were doing
I left
that.
them upstairs. I was gonna have them on standby. I forgot them. They're upstairs. Yeah, those are really cool. I recommend those. If you guys haven't seen the little video I did, the pins are from Pin Force. They're so neat. I got to get my own little pin board. Randy's got a giant pin board. You used to see it in some of the videos. You might just have to do a video where you go through some of the pins you got. But these are really high quality. I know you saw the video, Dad. I would recommend these. You would absolutely love these pins.
They look awesome. I want to get some.
They're really good. Like you get what you pay for. And I think the next set I'm going to get is that Denver Dynamite set because that comes with the Arena Football League logo. That kind of looks like Trey's off the wall logo here. What his logo was inspired by. So that's going to be probably my next frivolent purchase after my Chicago trip this week. Yeah.
You also did a UFL logo ranking video with our friend Royce from Viking Wax Press. Tell me about that one.
So, we've done a couple of these logo ranking videos now. They've been a lot of fun. Royce and I are kindred spirits when it comes to just loving logos, having different perspectives on logos. And at the end of the day, it's just a celebration of all these really cool logos for the most part, unless you're the, spoiler alert, the Orlando Storm. Might be the lowest logo I've ever rated, but it's interesting looking at team logos through that prism and like breaking it down the way we kind of try to break logos down. And while there's good logos, there's a lot of stuff that we have to be like, well, unfortunately, it's kind of generic in some aspects. So stuff gets knocked down because of that. So even a logo like I love would get knocked down from originality because it's a cowboy hat with a bandana. So that's another little hint of the video. And Royce is in the chat today. It was a fun video to do. I got several other ones we could do. Might be on the back burner for a second, Royce, because I got some other stuff I'm working on. But we will get back to some. I got a lot of cool ideas. I'm sure Royce has got some other leagues to tackle as well. So it's a lot of fun, Randy. You should join sometime.
I'm going to let you guys have all the fun over there doing those. Let's see. Upcoming videos. We've got our week 9 pick video coming up. And I just finished the script for Have Grave Will Travel. Going to the grave with Woody Hayes. I got that done. I may have to look up some videos for you to splice in there. But I'm going to record the voiceover here in a day or so. So that's close to being done. But yeah, that's it. So let's start this weekly tour around.
Oh, don't forget, we also Kyle and I should have a Just Lying Around. I don't know if we're going to do one this weekend before the Lions game, definitely after the Lions-Vikings game this weekend. So, Royce, keep an eye out for us to dog your team. I got the Vikings. What's up there? Vikings-Lions ready to go for this weekend, baby. And what else? We got something else coming up. Oh, the picks video, just so everybody knows, will not be live this week. We're going to pre-record that one because I will be out of town, and I don't think I can haul a computer to Chicago with me. So, going to get that pre-recorded. It'll go up at the normal time on Wednesday night. So we hope people still tune in and talk to everybody in the live chat because those guys seem to all have fun chit-chatting while we do the picks. So that video will go up and you guys can experience it like it is kind of live. It's just without us putting your stuff on screen.
Hey, I showed up live for last week's pick video.
You did.
I was sitting on the balcony of my hotel, and it kept getting darker and darker as we went along because it was nice and bright when we started, and you just wouldn't shut up, so it took longer than expected as usual. And it kept getting darker and darker, and I hopefully you can still see me towards the end of the video, but yeah, I did that live from Florida.
You did. It was great. I don't think the way my wife and I are traveling, I don't have the ability to travel. I have to travel light. Vikings look like crap against the Chargers. I think the Lions have a 100% chance for a win, says Viking Wax Press, our buddy Royce. Never say it's never 100%, Royce. Even I'll say that. It's never 100%.
Yeah.
It might be 99%, but it's not 100.
And I did an unboxing. Did I say this already? I did an unboxing video for this.
You haven't done it. Yeah, you haven't done that yet.
Oh, well, I'm going to do it. And the reason that I wanted to wear this today was to thank Trey for bailing you out last week because you were kind of struggling doing everything all by yourself. And I appreciate it. I sent him a message saying, hey, I appreciate you, throwing Adam a life preserver when he would seem like he was drowning.
Yeah. So this show, I'll admit, this show is not built for one person to run the way we're kind of set up to do now. And I bit off more than I could chew last week. Trey was kind enough to hop on, help out there at the end.
Yep.
But
at the last minute.
And I mean, if it weren't for your script too, I would have definitely been like a little all over the place. And Trey in the chat, the homies are supporting. Hashtag not a bribe. I don't know, Trey. That this $100 bill in your letter says otherwise, but it's okay. Anyway, we're about 12 minutes in, Dad. Should we get to the nitty gritty? Let's talk some football.
Yeah, let's do it. And we're going to start our weekly tour around the world of football, and we're going to start off with the NFL. No, we're not going to start off with me as an astronaut.
Okay. I was hoping to talk more about you being an astronaut. All right. It was week 8 in the NFL. I don't know what games you want to hit, Dad. I know you got some news and notes we could tackle along the way.
Sure.
But we'll start with talking about the Thursday night game. Royce's Vikings fell to the Chargers 37-10. My big takeaway from this one was how sweet those Chargers uniforms looked on Thursday night. Did you see that? They're wearing their old Superchargers look from the 90s. Yeah.
Yep.
So good. It was a good look. I liked it a lot. They did the field up. It just felt good. It felt right. It's been a while since we've seen that look on the football field. And the Vikings, I believe, starting quarterback, or not starter, but Carson Wentz is out for the remainder of the year with that shoulder injury.
Yeah,
you hate to see that. They did announce that J.J. McCarthy will make his return against the Lions this Sunday. So,
wow.
Hoping Vikings camp or not hope. I'm not sure how they're feeling. Obviously, Royce doesn't think they have a shot if he says the Lions have a 100% chance of winning. But that's news from that one. Going on to the Sunday slate of games, the Dolphins trounced the Falcons 34-10. The Ravens beat the Bears 30-16. I actually watched this game, and I want to throw something out there to Bears fans. Guys, Caleb Williams is a problem. You guys had 2 good first drives to start that game. I watched this game. The Bears had 2 really good opening drives that kind of fell short in the red zone. They had to kick a couple of field goals, Dad, but so they were up 6-0. And then the Ravens with a backup quarterback, because there's a whole controversy with Lamar Jackson's status and how it was reported. And I don't know, that's the whole thing. The team's getting looked at by the league for how they reported or put it or whatever. So anyway, Lamar didn't end up playing like we all thought he was going to. I didn't when I made that pick on the show last week. But Huntley, or whatever his name was, the backup, looked great. Played really mistake-free football for a whole game. And they beat the Bears. They just outmuscled the Bears. And Caleb Williams was a detriment to that team. I think the Bears actually have a solid team there now. As much as I'll wear my Bears suck shirt and give them crap, they got a team. Ben Johnson's calling good plays. It's just Caleb on 2 occasions during that game that I can recall had the what is it called? Not roughing. What is it? Intentional grounding. That's what it was. 2 intentional grounding calls that really set that team back and got him out of good position. And it's just, he's making bad mistakes. And it makes me wonder, he'll be there next year. Don't get me wrong, but it makes me wonder if Ben Johnson doesn't have an eye on a different quarterback down the road here if Caleb doesn't get straightened up, because that hurts your team when your defense is playing okay and you got a good running game that's been fairly solid for the most part the last few weeks. I mean, during their 4-game winning streak, that hurts teams, even decent teams. So we'll see. So Bears, you got ways to go. Let's see here. The Bills roughhouse the Panthers 40-9 in this one. The New York Jets got their first win of the season after a heck of a comeback, heck of a crazy game this was. The Jets beat the Bengals 39-38. What'd you think of this one?
I didn't actually see this game. Was that like was that a last second field goal? How did that end?
It was, I think it was a field goal towards the end of the game. I honestly didn't watch this live. I just heard about it because Aaron's the one who texted me, because I kind of wrote this game off because I saw the Bengals were up. I wasn't thinking about it. And Aaron texted me, Jets, baby. And I'm like, no, they didn't. And I saw the final score, and it just blew my mind. Just unbelievable there. I thought it was towards the end of the game, because I did see Aaron Glenn's post-game, locker room talk, which was very Dan Campbell light. It's like he was trying to be Dan Campbell. It just him and Ben Johnson both tried to do that, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right.
Right.
You guys can't Dan Campbell, so don't even try. But good for the Jets to get that win. That's a confidence boost for them. Now there are no longer winless teams in the NFL, so good for them. The 0-16 Lions and 0-16 Browns can rest easy.
I hadn't thought about that. You're right.
Yeah, right. I wonder if they pop bottles every time it happens. The Houston Texans beat the San Francisco 49ers 26-15. That was a bit of a surprise to me. The New England Patriots took care of the Cleveland Browns 32-13. The Philadelphia Eagles took care of the New York Giants 38-20. This game, though, a lot of tush-push controversy. Once again, I don't know how you feel about that. And then the horrific injury
about it last year. Remember?
I know, but that play in particular that a lot of people are talking about, where they tush-push, they got the first down, but he was still moving, and the Thibodeau, I believe, for the Giants strips the ball. It should have been a fumble. But they call him forward progress. I think that's not right. That's the problem with this play. It's getting officiated differently and wrong. And I was on the side of trying to stop it. And teams are now kind of stopping it, but the refs are giving it to them. And it's, the false starts, and this should have been a fumble. So if they can't officiate it, then you know what? Maybe I might finally be in the camp of, it's time to do away with it. If it can't even be officiated fairly and properly across the board, get it out of here. As much as I would just say stop them, that was my whole mantra. You got to stop them. Right. Otherwise, I don't care about it. Now it's, well, crap, the refs aren't really helping. So, get it out of here. But Cam Scatterbo, the rookie running back for the Giants, who's just been awesome this year. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Him and Jackson Dart have been an amazing 1-2 combo for the Giants, especially after losing Malik Neighbors, their star receiver, earlier this year. And Scatterbo, I don't know if you saw that injury. Oh boy, it sucks. He's been so much fun to watch. His foot, Dad, was like this. It was gruesome. It wasn't good to look at. And I feel bad. If you're a Giants fan, they are just getting banged up. A lot of these young, talented guys that really should give them hope. And you just hate to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of the New Orleans Saints 23-3. The Denver Broncos put up a clinic against the Dallas Cowboys 44-24. The Indianapolis Colts kept rolling against the Titans. They beat them 38-14. On Sunday Night Football, Dad, ugly uniforms or not ugly uniforms the Steelers wore as they fell to the Packers 35-25.
I wasn't a real big fan of those all yellow uniforms. I know it's part of their history, but it's not a good part. So I didn't care for them.
See, I thought it wasn't a bad look. I had people like my buddy texting me and was like, "What are these uniforms?" And I used to like these uniforms. Like they had these back in the what was it? In the early 90s, they had a version of this, kind of that throwback with that little, whatever that sigil is, which I believe is the, I city of Pittsburgh emblem. I could be wrong. But I did see this picture, Dad, and I wanted to show this to you. And what do you think about this? Steelers pulled up to the game wearing street signs. That's
good. I like that.
Roy says they were awful. I call those Steeler pants their naked pants. Yeah, so I turned to the game after having this whole conversation with my buddy, and my wife just went off. I wish I was recording. It was the funniest thing. We're sitting on the couch. She looks up from her phone. She goes, "Oh my God, what in God's green earth are they wearing? Those are terrible." She kept going. And then all of a sudden there was a flag on a play, and it was like personal foul on somebody in the game. And she goes, "More like personal foul on whoever decided to let them wear those disgusting uniforms." It was an all-time rant by my wife, and it was incredibly awesome. But I do not hate these. I do not hate these uniforms. I just don't like the helmet. I hate that matte yellow helmet. Otherwise, I didn't hate it. I like it. I might be the only one, but I like it.
I thought you were going to say when the penalty flag was thrown, I thought maybe she was going to say, "Oh, look, one of the Steelers players dropped his handkerchief out of his pocket and it fell on the ground."
No, she's like, "That is just too much yellow," and a bunch of other expletives, which I cannot share. My wife is a saint.
The tan or the flesh colored pants had no business being there. If you're going to do that, you may as well go all yellow head to toe.
Well, no, the tan pants to me, old school football. That's the pants they kind of wore back in the day. So I'm fine with it. Dale says those are the worst uniforms ever. They're ugly and terrible. When did Pittsburgh wear those things? Like I said, I feel like in the 90s during the 75th NFL season anniversary, they had those special uniforms. Because I had that in a football card, and that's all I had of it. That was like my only proof that those uniforms existed back in the day. But I dug them. But that uniform had the Steeler City or whatever patch in the middle, and then the number off into the side, which was kind of cool. I didn't mind the little tweaks they made to this one. Like I said, the helmet, the matte yellow, doesn't work for me. And then finally, the Commanders got shellacked on Monday Night Football, 28-7 by the New York Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Almost should be the New York Chiefs, the way New York keeps giving the Chiefs a bunch of freebies during the games. But that's it for the scores. Yeah, what kind of news items do you have from this week's scoreboard?
From that Steelers game, Aaron Rodgers had a chance to defeat all 32 teams if he'd beat Green Bay. That's the only team that he's not beaten in his long career, but it didn't happen. I wish he would have. Would have made
the one time we're rooting for Aaron Rodgers and he couldn't pull it through.
Yeah. So he's
what
still
a loser.
31 teams that he's beaten. I don't know if he'll get another chance. I don't think he's coming back next year. So this was probably it for him.
Unless they play the Packers in the Super Bowl, which I don't want.
Yeah, I don't think I could watch that one. Let's see. Did you see Jared Goff on Monday Night Football's Manning Cast last night?
I watched a couple clips of him. Yeah, he said he dressed up as Peyton Manning for Halloween one year because they were doing historical figures.
Yep. Yep. And then they also showed a commercial on there for Peyton's Places season 5 is debuting November 2nd. And I was all upset because I didn't think he was going to do any more because I hadn't seen any. Normally they're in the off season or whatever, but when I saw that, I got so excited because I love Peyton's Places. He does a great job with all those, a lot of historical venues that he goes to and stories that you may not have heard before. But I'm so happy that there's going to be a season 5 of Peyton's Places. There's probably going to be another season of Eli's Places also, and that's good. They both do a really good job on both of those.
So they should just send you some Peyton's Places merch because you're just a shill for Peyton's Places.
Yeah, I'd wear that T-shirt. That's for sure. Let's see. You told me to add this story. The Pro Bowl games are moving to Super Bowl week, so I guess they're not going to be the weekend before Super Bowl. It's going to be during that week sometime. I don't get that.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
They got they're shuffling a whole bunch of things, so now it just seems like they're going to have the typical bye week between the Super Bowl, and now there won't be a Pro Bowl games in there. It's going to be during Super Bowl week, which I guess makes sense. I don't hate that because Super Bowl week is just so long and it's a bunch of boring media coverage and stuff that just like, I don't care unless my team's in it because my team's never been in it. But I guess it would break it up, and it's might be the only way we get Lions to play during Super Bowl week.
Well, maybe not much longer. Hopefully that's going to change here real fast.
Hopefully.
And the last story that I've got here, Monsters Fun Day Football. Monsters Incorporated themed Monday Night Football game coming December 8th for the game between the Eagles and the Chargers. This is the third year that they've done this sort of thing. I think last year they did Toy Story, and the year before they did SpongeBob, or vice versa. I don't recall.
Well, they did. So last year was The Simpsons. Because that was
yes. Okay.
So last year was The Simpsons. The year before that was the Toy Story game.
Okay.
And so that'll make this the third one. I don't think they've done. What was the one you said they did?
I thought they did a SpongeBob. Didn't they have a SpongeBob?
Well, so CBS does their own little SpongeBob broadcast.
Okay.
That's separate from.
Okay. I'm getting them mixed up.
Ones. Yeah, but it's fine. Like, I think this is cool, but they always spring this on us at like the last second. I forget that they do this, and it's like, oh yeah, they're doing that fun thing. So,
but I did really like the Toy Story one, and the Simpsons one was really good too. So I'm thinking this is going to be just as good, because I like Monsters Incorporated, so I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be cool.
It should be a fun one. I think that's an interesting one to pull from. I like those things. Like, I might not sit and watch the whole broadcast, but I do like to tune in every now and then and like check and see what they're doing. Off the Wall says the Toy Story game was electric. That it was.
Yeah, it was.
And it was, Trey.
It was very good. I love the way that Slinky Dog was the down marker for the 10 yards. Yeah. That was so creative.
It was so good. And I like the aesthetic they got for the Monsters Inc. I think that works for what they're going to try to do. So I'm looking forward to that. This will be a fun one to tune into.
Yep. Okay. I think that's it for our NFL talk. I think it's time for us to switch gears here. And unfortunately, I forgot my little Canadian flag is over there. But now we're going to talk about the Canadian Football League. And this was week 21 of an 18-game schedule. The regular season is now complete with the 4 games that were played this past weekend. Let's break down those 4 games. 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday. All the playoff spots are filled. So on Friday night, it was the Hamilton Tiger Cats defeating the Ottawa Red Blacks 35-15. Hamilton was up 26-7 at halftime and just basically cruised to an easy win at home. And then they take the East Division. So they are your East Division champs this year, and they'll get a bye. Hamilton quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell set a personal best by throwing for 36 touchdown passes this season. Good for him. He also led the league in passing yards this season with 5,296 yards. He's had a heck of a season. I think you're going to have to look out for Hamilton this year in the playoffs. They're going to surprise some people, I think.
It's going to be interesting because they were so good early in the year. Remember, they like rattled off like 5 straight wins or something at one point after starting. I say they started 0-2. I could be wrong, but they got hot there for a minute. They looked like the best team in the CFL there for a minute, and then they kind of cooled off a little bit. And they've been hit and miss, but some of these teams started hitting their stride here late in the year. We'll talk about too, but they kind of hung on here at the end to win the East Division, so they get that bye, and we'll get to wait and see who they have to play against, because I think depending on the matchup they get, could really determine if Hamilton is Grey Cup bound or not, because I think I could see one team playing a little better than Hamilton and the other team maybe not so much. So it'll just be interesting. And we'll talk about the playoff bracket here in a little bit.
Yep. All right. Why don't you go and read the stats from this game?
All right. Give me 2 seconds. Dale says, wow, after last season, Hamilton was in last place. Now they are the East Division winners. Hey, and then the Grey Cup champions are knocked out of the play. Like this is why the CFL is great. Guys, that's why there's more than the NFL, and we love watching all this stuff, because this is the crazy stuff that can happen.
There's an entire world of football out there, people. Remember that.
Yeah, world of football. Sorry, wrong shirt. I'm used to wearing the one with the globe on it. I got this one. Again, guys, T-shirts available at Off the Wall FB on social media. I promise I am not getting paid for this, despite there being a $100 bill in this letter from Trey. All right. We're going to talk stats.
And ours are available on tpublic.com.
Yeah. We can't afford to pay anybody to put that merch on their channels. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell was 21 of 31 passing for 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. Running back Greg Bell ran the ball 15 times for 94 yards, and wide receiver Keandre Smith had 8 catches for 99 yards, while kicker Mark Leggio made Let's see, 7 field goals during this
Seven.
game.
7
That's-
field goals.
That's 21 points, Randy. That's like 3 touchdowns. They should have a conversion rate for if your kicker makes that much, you should just tell them you got 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, really.
And then for Ottawa quarterbacks, Tyree Adams and Matthew Schultz combined 16 of 29 passing for 197 yards, a touchdown, and oh boy, 6 interceptions in this one.
Yeah, they didn't look real good.
Woof. Running back William Stanbeck carried the ball 11 times for 58 yards, and wide receiver Khalil Pimpleton from Central Michigan University led the receivers with 3 catches for 60 yards. And obviously after this game, Dad, I don't know, we should just bring it up right now, what the Red Blacks did with their coaching staff.
Oh, yeah, I can scroll down here and read that.
I got a graphic ready for you.
Okay. Ottawa Red Blacks have fired their head coach, Bob Dice. He took over as an interim on an interim basis when Red Blacks fired Paul LaPolice, who now does the pregame show. After 4 games, with 4 games left in the 2022 season, Dice leaves with an overall record of 18, 39, and 1 as the team's head coach. He was 4-14 this season, the worst record in the league this year. Dice had 1 year left on his contract. So they're looking for a new coach up there.
Man, I was so remember that first. Let me take you back in a time machine, Randy. 20 weeks ago, after that week 1, Ottawa lost that game. But I had said then that this Ottawa team looks like they could be something special this year. And boy, was I wrong. And here we are 20 weeks later, and their coach is fired, and you hate to see it. I really did have high hopes for this Ottawa team. They had a lot of good things about them that they looked really good at times. It's just they just couldn't finish. And boy, you have this type of season. It doesn't shock me that they parted ways with him. So you always hate to see somebody fired. We're going to talk about another one later. But, I mean, these guys know the nature of the business. Even in Canada, you got to deal with, job performance.
Yeah. A lot of things can happen over 18 games spread out over 21 weeks. The early teams that look really good sometimes are not there at the end of the season. Let's see. Going on to the other.
Real quick, sorry, in the chat too. On Facebook, our buddy Tim Capper, our favorite Canadian, other than Ryan Reynolds. The road to the Grey Cup starts now. Yes, it does. We will talk playoffs here in a second, our friend up there. Tell Ryan Reynolds we said hi, by the way.
Let's see. The other Friday night game, the Calgary Stampeders defeated the Edmonton Elks 20-10. Calgary led 16-0 at halftime. And again, another game where the team just cruised to an easy 20-10 win. Nothing special. I watched the highlights, and it's just like, there were a few plays here and there that were pretty exciting, but for the most part, there's no surprise there. But Calgary running back Dedrick Mills won the CFL rushing title this year with 1,409 yards. Congratulations to him. He's been a real power running back all season long. So he's good for him. Good for him.
Yep. All right. Should I rattle off some stats?
Rattle off some stats.
All right. I hope these aren't any typos in here, Randy, because I see a typo, I think. I'm not sure. God, I hope it's a typo. Anyway,
yes,
Calgary quarterback Vernon Adams was 17 of 24 passing for 285 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions, while running back Dedrick Mills ran the ball 17 times for 69 yards. Wide receiver Eric Brooks had 5 catches for 136 yards, while Stampeders kicker Rene Paredes kicked 4 field goals. Not as impressive as that 7 in the other game. And then for Edmonton, quarterback Cody Fajardo was 20 of 27 passing for 272 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He also ran the ball for 24 yards. Running back Justin Rankin carried the ball 9 times for, this is where I'm wondering, Randy, 1 yard?
1 yard is the stat I saw. We talked about him all season long, how great he's been, and this has got to be his worst performance ever, obviously, but I was just shocked when I saw that. Only 9 rushes and 1 yard to show for it. Man.
That's got to be an all-time worst rush yard per average.
I don't know.
That's like sub 3 inches of carry. I can't do math. But that's insane to me. That's why I was like, that's got to be a typo, right? 1 yard after 9 carries.
No, that's what I saw.
Unfortunately, Randy, that's probably better than either of us could do behind an offensive line. So I'm not even going to dog him.
I'd be at minus 15 probably.
I'd actually think negative 20, but who's counting?
Yeah, who's got?
Let's see. Wide receiver OJ Hilaire had 6 catches for 86 yards for the Elks. So that'll do it for that game.
All right, let's move on to the 2 Saturday games. In the first game on Saturday, it was Winnipeg over Montreal. Sorry, Tim. 19-10. Winnipeg led 13-4 at halftime. In the second half, each team kicked a pair of field goals, which led to a 9-point win for the Blue Bombers. Yeah, I think Montreal was saving themselves for the playoffs. I think Tim would agree with that.
Tim might agree. Maybe he won't here now. I don't know. But yeah, with the playoffs right around the corner, you're one way or the other, you're guaranteed a home game, like at least for the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a valid strategy. I mean, you hate seeing it when you watch it, but we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, I didn't hear where Davis Alexander was. He didn't play in this game. But 3 field goals and a rouge was all the scoring that Montreal could muster in the game. And these two teams are going to play again next week in the playoffs. So
they're saving that Alexander magic for the postseason, Randy.
I think so.
That's what's happening.
So. I can buy that.
Maybe if you tuned into Tim's Alouettes podcast, you'd be in the know about what was happening with that team.
Yeah.
Alouettes flight deck, baby. Again. Oh wait, that's not Alouettes. Off the wall shirt. Sorry, everybody.
Read the stats from this game.
Yes, sir. Yes, you don't sound sick at all. All right. Winnipeg quarterbacks, Terry Wilson and Chris Streveler were a combined 12 of 23 passing for 92 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Wilson also ran for 30 yards and had a rushing touchdown. Running back Matthew Patterson carried the ball 17 times for 80 yards. Wide receiver Jareth Stern led receivers with 2 catches for 34 yards. Kicker Sergio Castillo was 4 for 6 on his field goals, the longest of which came from 48 yards. For Montreal, quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson filled in for Davis Alexander. He went 17 of 34 passing for 182 yards, no touchdowns, threw an interception. Wide receiver Tyson Philpott had 6 catches for 66 yards, and kicker Jose Maltos made 3 field goals.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't able to watch any of these games live being in Florida, but I watched all the highlights today and between yesterday and today. And you could tell that some of these teams were just putting out players to end the season. They just kind of wanted it to be over. Everybody's, the teams that aren't in the playoffs, I think they kind of felt like, let's just get this season over with. And the teams that are going to the playoffs are like, let's rest a few players and give other people some chances. Cause most of the games, they didn't have a lot of, a lot riding on the game. So that's just my theory. But let's move on to the last game of the weekend. The late Saturday game. It was the BC Lions over the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 27-21. Saskatchewan led 18-13 at halftime. They also led 21-19 midway through the fourth quarter, but a late touchdown by BC was the difference as BC wins their 6th straight game to end the season. Congratulations to them. Of course, BC earned a home playoff game with that one. And BC wide receiver Keon Hatcher won the CFL receiving title this year with 1,688 yards. So, boy, you got to watch out for that BC Lions team. They're getting hot at the right time.
They might be the hot team going into the postseason. 6 straight wins is nothing to sneeze at, and momentum's a real thing. So, watch out. I'd be curious. I'll be pulling a little bit for the Lions to make some noise.
Yeah. Go ahead and read those stats.
All right, my pleasure. British Columbia quarterback Nathan Rourke was 23 of 28 passing for 368 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Wide receiver Aiden Eberhard had 4 catches for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns, while wide receiver Keon Hatcher had 7 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. For Saskatchewan, quarterbacks Jake Mayer and Trevor Harris were a combined 26 of 35 for 266 yards, no touchdowns, but they did throw an interception. Wide receiver Tommy Neild led the receivers with 8 catches for 75 yards.
Yep.
And Toronto was on a bye.
Toronto was on a bye. Their season was over with last week, so they're probably all home wherever they live, watching these games and just saying, what could have been, or we'll get them next year, whatever.
Yeah.
Looking at the standings, the final standings in the CFL for 2025 in the West Division, it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders with a 12-6 record. They are your West Division champs. The BC Lions also have a playoff spot with an 11-7 record, as well as the Calgary Stampeders, 11-7, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with an 10-8 record are your crossover team. And Edmonton finished the season with an 11-7 record. Or I'm sorry,
All the way
7-11
around,
record.
Yeah.
7-11 record. In the East, it was the Hamilton Tiger Cats with an 11-7 record, winning the East Championship. The Alouettes finished 10-8. They're in the playoffs, and the other two teams in the East eliminated Toronto at 5-13 and Ottawa at 4-14. Looking ahead to next week's games in the playoffs, 2 games on Saturday. You've got Winnipeg at Montreal. Both teams are 10-8, and this is a rematch from last week. This is going to be on CFL Plus, as far as I can see. I don't think they're going to be on TV here in the States, but last I knew it was strictly CFL Plus. And then the other Saturday game, Calgary at BC. Both of those teams are 11-7, and that's going to be a CFL Plus game as well. So, and on
who do you got winning those games?
Oh boy,
that put you on the spot.
if Davis Alexander is there and he's ready to go, Montreal will probably win that game at home, I think. And then BC at home. I'm taking both the home teams in both of those games.
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's exactly where I'm leaning.
Yep. And then, of course, on bye, the winners of those 2 games are going to play either the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the West or the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the East. And a couple little notes from the CFL this week. Winnipeg sold out every home game this season for the first time in franchise history. Some of these CFL teams, they kind of struggle to get fans in the stands, but a few of them, Saskatchewan, I think Montreal draws really well. But for Winnipeg to sell out every single home game all season long, that's amazing. They've never done it before. I thought that was an amazing fact that came out of this past week. And then the other thing is that the CFL announced that the 114th Grey Cup game is going to be played in Saskatchewan, and that'll be played in 2027. We all know that Winnipeg is hosting it this year and that Calgary is going to host it next year in 2026. So we know where the next 2 are going to be after this year. So that's kind of cool. I'm waiting for the Grey Cup to come back to Toronto or Hamilton, and we may have to go to another Grey Cup game when they're a little closer to home.
Yeah, we'll see. I loved my time in British Columbia. I thought that was a heck of a turnout and show. Yep. I like the Dome too, especially if the weather gets a little natty. But I'd be down for a Toronto for a Hamilton Grey Cup for sure. And I've been wanting to go to Saskatchewan. You know how bad I want to go see Saskatchewan.
I want to go there too. I want to go to all the stadiums in the CFL, but I just like it to be a little bit warmer. Let's make that a July, August kind of game, and not a November in the middle of a snowstorm game.
All right, CFL, have your Grey Cup at the start of the season, and then we can make it.
There you go. And that's it for the CFL, unless you know of anything else we forgot to talk about.
I think that's pretty much everything from the CFL. I'm excited to check out some playoff action this weekend. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going out of town, so I'll probably have to use CFL Plus to its advantage on my phone. So,
well,
hopefully
I'll be here.
Games.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll make sure I get all the stats and everything from the 2 games this weekend. Should be a couple of really exciting games. I think they're both going to be pretty close games. But like I said, I'm kind of favoring the home teams.
I think so too. I think that Montreal Winnipeg game is going to be real interesting. And depending on which Calgary team shows up, they could put up a fight against BC. The last couple times, not so much. I feel like BC's really had Calgary's number. Vernon Adams playing his old team that traded him away in the offseason. So that should be interesting.
Okay. All right. That wraps up our talk for the CFL. And now we're going to move to college football, and we've got a ton of scores. from
Oh,
across
boy.
North America.
I will zip my lips and let you just fly through them.
All right. Let's see. Let's start out college football week 8. The FBS top 25. Here's some of the scores. Number 1, Ohio State did not play this week, but number 2, Indiana over UCLA 56-6. Wow, what a beatdown. I know.
Almost wore my Indiana shirt today, but because I got this in the mail, I'm offthewall.com or off the wall FB on socials. He did not pay me. I am not. I've not been bribed, despite what the money in the letter says. But Indiana's awesome. What a great season! I know my cousin Nathan, is on the sidelines there. Another fantastic year they're having.
Yeah.
And while I think they still need to be tested a little bit, they had a big win in Oregon. This is a nice win against was it UCLA they played?
UCLA.
So I watched a little bit of this one. They look like a tough team, and I can't wait to see them play. I don't know if they play Ohio State or what their schedule looks like, but I am anxious to see them play another big dog and see how they do.
Yep. Also in the top 25, Memphis upset number 18 South Florida 34-31. Washington upset number 23 Illinois 42-25. Houston upset Arizona State 24-16. And number 25 Michigan over Michigan State 30-21. Yeah, I was out of state. I didn't get to see this game, so I missed the annual Michigan State game this year. I don't know if you watched any of it at all.
I didn't. I worked this weekend and was a little busy, so I missed it, unfortunately. But I know it felt a little quieter this year. Usually, like there's a lot of smack talk and a lot of. I see a lot of maize and blue and a lot of green and white. This year. I just felt like it was really quiet. Like both these programs just. Oh, they're both like, hey, we both stink. Let's just not make a big fuss about it. Okay?
Let's see. Other FBS scores. It was Miami of Ohio over our beloved Western Michigan Broncos 26-17. It was Utah over Colorado 53-7. That's the team that Deion Sanders is still coaching over there. Let's see. Temple over Tulsa 38-37 in a squeaker. And San Diego State shut out Fresno State 23-0. In the military academies, Army and Air Force did not play this week, but Navy improved to 7-0 with a win over Florida Atlantic 42-32. Let's see. There are still, in some news here, there are still 6 undefeated teams after, was this week 8 or week 9? I wrote down week 9.
This is week 9.
Okay. And those 6 teams are BYU, Navy, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Indiana, and Ohio State. The same 6 teams that we talked about last week. They're still undefeated again this week. So we'll see who's going to be the first to fall. Will somebody fall next week? We'll have to wait and see. And the big story from this week was that LSU fired head coach Brian Kelly, age 64. LSU started the season 4-0. But lost 3 of the last 4 games, and they're now 5-3. Kelly finishes his 3+ year tenure at the school with a 34-14 record after going 10-4 in his first year, 10-3 in his second year, 9-4 last year. This is first 3 seasons there. He could be owed as much as $54 million in a buyout. It was kind of confusing. I was reading about this, and it sounded like the officials at the school wanted him to get rid of his offensive play caller. They didn't like the way plays were being called, and he didn't want to fire him. He wanted other changes, and they got really heated, got back and forth, and in the end, they fired him. So I don't know. I'm sure we haven't heard the whole story yet on how this all went down, but it's really bad when in the era of the NIL and this whole playoff thing now that schools are willing to pay $50 million to somebody to get rid of them to hopefully get somebody better that can, they can add a few more wins. A 34-14 record over 3+ years is nothing to sneeze at, but they want to win so bad now that they're willing to do that.
And the buyout's insane for these coaches. Like,
yeah,
it's like, did you see these numbers?
What numbers?
The numbers for like what coaches are being paid in buyouts. It's absolutely insane.
Well, we had one. We had one last week. Somebody else was $56 million last week. Yeah, we had a couple of those a week or two ago.
Well, right now, so There's a story over on ESPN. $168 million in buyouts are owed to fired FBS head football coaches.
Okay.
$168 million. That is insane to me. As Trey says in the chat, I too will take $54 million to not be a coach. Hey, easy. Welcome in, John. But yeah, $168 million. So here's the numbers, Dad. $54 million for Brian. And this also includes, let's see, that tops the $49 million owed to Penn State's James Franklin that was just fired a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Then here's the rest of the $167.7 million between these coaches. Bill Napier from Florida is owed $21 million. Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State is owed $15 million. Sam Pittman from Arkansas, $9.8 million. Brent Pry from Virginia Tech, $6 million. Deshaun Foster from UCLA, $5 million. Trent Bray from Oregon State is owed $4 million. Trent Dilfer from UAB is owed $2.4 million. And Jay Norvell, fired from Colorado State, is owed $1.5 million. Randy, we just got to become college football coaches, get fired, and make bank, and then we start another podcast.
Well, you have to be good enough to get that $100 million contract to begin with, to get the 54 when you get fired, and we don't qualify for that. I'm sorry.
Do you think if we start working over our buddy Trey's off the wall, we can negotiate a buyout so that nothing? I see you face palm there.
Okay, this running gag is getting stale. Let's move on to some other stuff here. Let's move on to some FCS scores. I got a couple scores from FCS level. Mercer shut out VMI, Virginia Military Institute, 62-0. And in the Ivy League, it was Dartmouth over Columbia, 49-3. In Division II, it was Davenport over Roosevelt, 75-23. You know, Davenport, that's the team that our friend Sparky McEwen is coaching up there in Grand Rapids, who we saw last week at the press conference for the Michigan Arsenal.
Who is the offensive coordinator for Arena Bowl winning quarterback Clint Dolezal, whom I did not bribe, sent me this Clint Dolezal football card. See, Randy, everything's connected.
Oh my God. How do I keep setting you up for this crap?
Just over here knocking dingers out the park.
In Division III football, it was our beloved Kalamazoo College over Albion, 30-26. And it was Coast Guard over Norwich, 59-28. I missed that. I was reading, so I didn't.
It was our friend Trey from Off the Wall, who did not pay me to wear this shirt, says it's all full circle, Randy.
And I had to ask you to bring that back. Oh my God, I'm awful at this. All right, moving on to the NAIA level. St. Francis of Indiana over St. Xavier of Illinois, 28-27 in another squeaker. And it was Florida Memorial over Thomas, 85-7. Wow.
Dang.
Let's see. Let's move on to junior college level. It was the Georgia Military over our beloved Snow College from Ephraim, Utah, 21-7. And it was Hudson Valley over Nassau, 28-10. Moving on up to Canada in U Sports. This is their version of college football up there. It was the Guelph Griffins over the Western Ontario Mustangs, 18-17, another squeaker there. And the playoffs for U Sports begin next week. So we're going to have some playoff scores next week to talk about up in Canadian college football. And finally, in the Canadian Junior Football League, this was the semifinal playoffs up there. It was the Saskatoon Hilltops over the Regina Thunder, 30-27. And that sets up the 117th Canadian Junior Football League Canadian Bowl on November 9th in 2 weeks. And that's going to feature the Okanagan Sun at 10-0 versus, or traveling to, the Saskatoon Hilltops, who are also 10-0. This game will be a rematch of the 2015 National Championship game up there, in which the Hilltops beat the Sun 38-24 in Saskatoon. So same location, same two teams, 10 years later, two undefeated teams. Should be a fun game to watch. I don't think you'll find it on TV anywhere around here, but there'll be highlights, and we'll talk about who wins that game after the game on November 9th.
You telling me they don't have CJFL Plus?
No, I do not believe that. If they did, don't you think I would have that on my phone or my laptop?
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it for the college scores. We're going to talk about the X League in Japan now.
Yep. Let me get that queued up. Our friend Greg St. James this week was kind enough to send us in another video. And hold on one second as I make sure that I have the right video loaded up. Okay. I have a couple different, like, I got all his videos like on my computer. So like let's see, we're gonna remove that one. So this is the beauty of doing the show live, Randy. Let's see. We all know that Greg does a great job over there. I was shocked. He's been pretty consistent. Pretty consistent, other than when he went to Austria for a little bit. But I think I've stalled long enough, and I have it queued and ready to go. All right. Yep, there it is. I got my edited version. All right. We're going to hand it off to Greg, and we will see everybody on the other side.
And now we're off across the Pacific, where our man in Japan, Greg St. James, has all the news from the land of the rising sun.
Greetings from Japan. It's Greg St. James here from the Gridiron Japan studios here in southwestern Japan with round 5 X League Super Scores. As many of you know, have listened to the podcast, both the World of Football and Gridiron Japan podcast. Japanese football, Japanese X League, actually at all levels, pretty much play what we would consider abbreviated schedules back in the States and even back in Canada. So I'm here with round 5 and with round 5 X League Super Scores. Basically, the regular season here for X League Super and X League Area is a grand total of 6 games before we head into the playoffs here in November. So let's talk about what happened this past weekend with round 5. Not too many, actually 0 surprises for both, for me and the crew. When we do our picks here, we pretty much called all these games. And unfortunately, there were no real upsets. There were some kind of close scores that were I wouldn't call them real close. Well, no, I take that back. Now I'm looking at the scoreboard. Yeah, no, there was nothing. There was no real close scores. In fact, the closest score we had, just by looking at the scoreboard right now here, we had the Tokyo Gas Creators were 23-7 winners over the Fukuoka Suns. Then we had the Fujitsu Frontiers were 59-10 winners over IBM Big Blue. The defending champion for X League Super, the Panasonic Impulse, were 44-0 winners over Oriental Bio Silver Star. The Najima Rise were 38-14 winners over the All Mitsubishi Lions. And really the closest game that we had here was the Obik Seagulls were 34-25 winners over the Elecom Fineys. And then lastly, we had the Seksui Challengers were 30-13 winners over Fujifilm Minerva. And actually, I think all of us here at the podcast, we were picking Fujifilm to win. So that is an upset. But I don't know. We expected more out of Fujifilm this year. So because we all had high hopes. We actually had high hopes for quite a few of these teams. But as we approach the last and final round, hopefully things kind of stay where they're at, because we're looking at if the way the playoff picture looks, it looks like we might have some new teams in the Rice Bowl coming up here in January. And we'll be talking about that hopefully sooner rather than later. Again, schedules with John, Aaron, and myself trying to figure everything out. Hopefully we're going to be back this week with kind of a breakdown of where we're at with the season right now, and take a look back at all the games, kind of give a a critique of all the games that have been played here in October. So with all that said, I am going to kick it back to Adam and Randy there at the World of Football, and that's all I got here. So for those of you who are kind of interested in what I'm talking about, you have no idea about the fact that we actually play football here in Japan, check out gridironjapan.jp. Also, you can check out our podcast. Just type in Gridiron Japan, 2 words, or even 1 word, and that should get you right to our website and to our podcast and our YouTube channel. So, all right, gents, listen, I have talked long enough. I think I've almost squandered my entire allotted 5 minutes for my part here. So, hey, with all that said, guys, take care, and we will see you and talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Gridiron Japan.
Thanks again, Greg. Another great segment as always. And yes, he got under the 5 minutes. We never really even gave him a cap, but he was under 5 minutes. So,
well, I like what he said there. The road to the Rice Bowl begins. So I think maybe we should make a little logo, the road to the Rice Bowl, and because I guess we're going to be starting playoffs here pretty soon. So yeah,
hey, don't go stealing something that Gridiron Japan can be doing, Randy. That should be their thing. He said it. Let him do it.
All right, Gridiron Japan, you need to come up with a logo for the road to the Rice Bowl, and and
then send us T-shirts to wear on our podcast, like Trey from Off the Wall.
Oh my God! Let's see what's coming up next. Oh, now we're going to move on to other happenings in the world of football. We have a little news from the AF1, Arena Football 1. The Minnesota Monsters head coach Tony O'Neill resigned suddenly last week. He cited mental health issues and wanting to spend more time with his family as reasons for leaving the team. And offensive and special teams coach Darren Clark will now take over as the head coach of the team. Big shock there.
Bit of a surprise. And apparently they have, remember at the press conference for the Arsenal a couple weeks ago now, they said that there's going to be another press conference, which would be tomorrow. So Wednesday, the 29th.
Right.
Supposedly Minnesota's got something going on. I don't know what the deal is. I thought it was for a new franchise announcement, but the Monsters have a press conference scheduled for tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure what it's supposed to be, but I was under the impression when we were at that press conference that they said a new team announcement. So I don't know if this is like a more official Minnesota Monsters announcement, even though the Monsters are on the league website, and I just don't know. And I popped over to the league website for a hot second, and they have 9 teams up there at the top of the homepage. Still got some bugs with the website because you click teams and the Arsenal aren't on there. So there's a lot of stuff that's still got to be cleaned up aesthetically by the AF1. But in terms of this head coach, I don't know much about Mr. Clark. That organization though, I feel like they're in good hands. And they've been signing a lot of great players. Minnesota's the team that everybody's kind of been talking about being, prepared or really gunning for guys, and they're going to try to gun for a championship this year. So I think a head coaching change makes me hesitate a little bit, but if you got a good group of players there, Minnesota will probably still make some noise. So I'm curious to see what Darren Clark does with this team.
What little I've read about Darren Clark is he's played for some indoor and arena teams, and he's also played up in the CFL. So that's about all I gleaned from the quick statement on his taking over as head coach.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to today's birthdays and anniversaries. Excuse me. For October 28th.
Don't I?
Yes, you do.
There it is.
There we go. Okay. Today's birthdays and anniversaries, October 28th. Running back Terrell Davis turns 53 years old today. Played his college football at Long Beach State and at Georgia. Selected in the 6th round of the 1995 NFL draft by the Denver Broncos. He only played 7 NFL seasons. I did not realize that until I was looking this up. 7 NFL seasons, all with the Broncos between 1995 and 2001. He won back-to-back Super Bowls with Denver, Super Bowl 32 and 33. He was the MVP of Super Bowl 33. 32, I'm sorry. And he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2017. And the other thing is it's kind of an anniversary. On this date in 1959, Ralph Wilson Jr. picks Buffalo, New York as the location for his new American Football League franchise. At the time, he was a part owner of the Detroit Lions, and the original owners for the first year of the American Football League, they were kind of known as the Foolish Club, because a lot of people thought that this AFL was not going to amount to anything. So they said they were all foolish for getting, trying to start up another league in competition with the NFL. So, yeah, that was on this date, 1959.
How'd that work out for him?
Worked out pretty darn well, I'd say.
Yeah.
So they proved everybody wrong. Not so foolish after all. Okay, and let's see. So we do have 2 obituaries this week. There were actually like 14 obituaries that I saw, and
Crazy.
It was just nuts. Every few hours I was getting a notification of another obituary. But I went with these 2 because they were the biggest name guys that I saw. The first one is Nick Mangold, a center in the NFL for 11 seasons, has passed away at the age of 41 due to complications of chronic kidney disease. Mangold played college football at Ohio State and was selected with the 29th overall pick in the 2006 NFL draft by the New York Jets. He played his entire career with the Jets between 2006 and 2016. You hate to see anybody that young passing away. He's got his whole life ahead of him. It's very sad to hear about that.
Right. There's a lot of clips of him that kind of started popping up on social media. A lot of clips I remember. He was a very funny man, and he did a lot of. There was a pic where he got cut by the Jets at one point, and he found out like while he was on a roller coaster at like a theme park, and there's a hilarious picture of him just like looking all sad, and it says, "When you find out you've been cut while at the greatest place on earth," or something. He seemed like a very funny dude. So there's a lot of stuff that popped up about him I never knew about. A couple of things I kind of remembered happening, but you hate to see that. Like you said, a whole life in front of him.
Yeah, really.
And then our second obituary this week is that of George Atkinson, a defensive back in the NFL for 11 seasons, has passed away at the age of 78. Atkinson played college football at the HBCU school Morris Brown College and was selected in the 7th round of the 1968 NFL draft by the Oakland Raiders. He played for the Raiders from 1968 to 1977 and won Super Bowl 11 with the team. He finished his playing career with the Denver Broncos in 1979.
All right, and finally, our upcoming events calendar today. Sunday, November 9th, the international game between the Falcons at the Colts in Berlin. That's going to be on NFL Network at 9:30 a.m., just like all the others. And the final international game of the year, Sunday, November 16th, the Commanders versus the Dolphins in Madrid, Spain, NFL Network, 9:30 a.m. Then on Sunday, November 16th, that same day, you've got the 112th Grey Cup game being played in Winnipeg. And then a couple of college games on the 22nd of November. You've got the 161st Lehigh versus Lafayette game at Lehigh. I think that's Pennsylvania. That's an FCS clash. And that is the oldest continuous rivalry in the country. And it beats out this other game that's going to be played the same day. Oh, I don't know. The 141st Harvard-Yale game is going to be played at the Yale Bowl. So, yeah, it's more. Lehigh Lafayette is more than Michigan and Ohio State, more than Army, Navy. It is the oldest, and a lot of people have never even heard of it. But, yeah. I try to catch some of that every year. So probably going back and forth between both of those games if they're around at the same time this year. And that is it for everything that we've got today. Anything pop up on your phone that you know about that you want to mention?
Yes, I have right here from my phone a message from Trey thanking me for pimping the merch on today's episode, and he says there's another $100 in the mail for you, Randy. If you just you just got to actually say the plug. You say the plug, you get $100. That's what Trey said. Read the thing he sent you.
You need that money more than I do.
Whoa, hey! I work for this podcast. I feel like I make a under living wage over here. Okay, thank you very much.
That's what I'm saying. You need the money more
Oh.
than I do, because I'm not paying you anything. That's for sure.
Trey says that he cannot confirm nor deny that statement I just made.
Of course. Most of the things you say cannot be confirmed or denied, Adam.
How dare you, sir? I'll have you know that my new boss over at Off the Wall FB on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok would say otherwise.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week. Don't forget to check out our merchandise, the World of Football merchandise, at teepublic.com. That's TEE public.com. That's all one word, teepublic.com. Did you get that? teepublic.com for the latest in football-related T-shirts, hats, mugs, and more from our merch store. And remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than the two of us guys sitting here in different parts of Kalamazoo, Michigan, talking about all things football. Join us again next week when we'll try and do a better job like we do every stinking week, and we never seem to quite get there. Until then, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow.
And we'll see you all next week, maybe.
Thanks again for checking out this edition of This Week in the World of Football. New episodes of the show are posted every Tuesday and can be found wherever good podcasts are available. You can find the World of Football on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Threads by searching for TWOF Kalamazoo or using the links in the episode description below. Be sure to subscribe to the World of Football on YouTube for more great football-related content. Just search for the World of Football Kalamazoo or use the handle @TheWorldOfFootball to find us. Remember, every like, comment, and subscription really does help us out, and we appreciate you for that support. We hope to see you again next time.